We all know that a manager's job is changing, and it must for a variety of reasons. But we're also facing a problem of people not wanting to step into leadership because of how they see us navigating these changes. We have managers who are unhappy, they're stressed, they're not enjoying their jobs. Others look at that and they go like, "No, I'm not interested in that." We have all these headlines about AI replacing managers, and people are saying, "Well, why would I want to go into that?" My concern is that the effects of these reactionary decisions are not going to be felt for 3 to 5 years. The need for the manager's role is changing, but the need for leaders is only increasing. And if we don't have people wanting to step up into more responsibility, we're going to have a shortage of leaders who are ready to meet the demands that we have. My last video, I talked about making the managers happy. And I'm sure some people listen to that and they think, look, they're hired to do a job. But investing in your people so that they enjoy their work, that's actually a growth strategy. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So we know there's two problems we're facing. The first is the problem of building a leadership pipeline. I quoted some stats in the last video, but half of CEO successions last year were unplanned, and 77% of CHROs lack confidence in their leadership pipeline. So it's not just a people problem we have, it's actually a business continuity problem. The second problem is the speed of change. Things are moving faster than they ever have. And we know AI is shaping roles, markets are shifting. And so the job that managers have today isn't the job they're going to have in 3 years. So you wonder like, well, how do you build a pipeline when the destination that keeps moving? But both of these problems can be addressed with the same system. The first thing we have to do is we have to start preparing people better for more responsibility. Too often we're throwing people into bigger roles and they're struggling. Sure, some survive, but most flounder. And that is not how you accomplish sustainable success. Now, I'm not a super athlete or anything like that, but I do exercise regularly. And every year I do a few big events. And I've been doing this for years. And even now, I still have a same rule, which is limit the amount of pain. I know that the key to endurance events is consistent training over a long period. You have to build that base in order to do an endurance event. And so success for me is just showing up, doing a little bit more than before, and always feeling great about it. Because I know if I have too many painful days, it's just going to be mentally harder for me to get out and go do that run or go for that bike. So I have to have a lot of great days and very few bad days if I'm going to build up that base that's needed to do longer training sessions. Leadership's going to work the same way. You don't prepare people just through a seminar or a training session. It's done by taking on responsibility, providing support, and then reflecting and learning from that experience. Some are going to want more. Some are going to choose a different route, and that's okay. They're still going to be more capable and supportive of whoever manages them. So when you make preparation a deliberate, visible activity, you're not only developing the individual, you're actually shaping your culture. The second thing we need is that the people in management need to be the ones actively involved in navigating the changes going on. They need to help design the roles for tomorrow. Right now, we've got managers in survival mode. Now, when I work with senior leaders, people that have made it through that period, they're always figuring out new aspects of their role. Their role is always changing. So something shifts in the business or the market or the team, and the job they have looks different than it did 6 months ago. That's not a problem. That's what leadership is. And it's a skill that they've learned to develop. And we need managers to develop that skill. We're no longer in the age where you can just hand off a role and expect people to learn to execute it successfully. They're going to need to change it and reconfigure it. And so the executives, company leaders, and the managers themselves all need to be part of shaping that role and what it's becoming. Now, you might wonder, well, how do you do this? What you need is a system that does both these things. It prepares people before they lead, and it creates the structure for ongoing role design. Of course, I got a solution. I've developed a framework I call the Spiral Development Matrix, and it can be used to solve both of these problems. So it's based on two concepts. First of all, every role progresses through 3 stages of mastery. Practice stage, which is where you learn what the job requires. Perform stage, where you get good at it. And the pioneer stage, where you're going to do something impactful or get ready for what's next. That's actually the stage that's used to prepare people for management roles. And there are four areas that you need to develop in order to progress across those three stages. Those four areas are called the risers, and they're relationships and influence, skills and experience, results, and systems. That structure allows you to create a map for any role. And with a map, your employees can take ownership of how they progress through the role. That map is made to support the needs of the business as well. So as the employee progresses, the business benefits. So the manager and the employee are working together. Their interests are aligned. The employee is selecting and working things that are appealing to them, and they know how they can advance the needs of the business as well. So let me ask you, if someone you knew was talented and you wanted in a leadership role and they looked at your management jobs from the outside, would they want it? Not is it important or is it paying okay? Would they look at that role and what it requires of the support that exists and the path that is laid out and say, yeah, I'd take that job? And if the answer is no, or if you're not sure, that's where you need to focus. You need to focus on designing the role itself. What you call that role, the process to bring people into it, the comp plans, all of that can come later. But engage those current managers now and help them design what a perform stage looks like for that role. Then figure out who might be ready for more and create a pioneer stage so they start getting a taste of what management looks like. Look, that pipeline is thin and it's getting thinner and the pace of change is accelerating. The organizations that start taking steps to address these realities will be well positioned in 3 to 5 years. And if that's you, if you're ready to get started, hit me up, Brian@shiftfocus.com. Send me an email and let's talk.